Welcome back, dear students. Today our topic is role of microbes in sewage treatment. In this topic, we will first discuss what is sewage, then what are the problems associated with sewage, and finally how sewage can be properly treated before it is disposal into the water bodies. So let's move on. Sewage is the municipal wastewater containing human excreta. It contains large quantity of organic matter and pathogenic microbes. Due to increasing urbanization, sewage is being produced in tremendous quantities in cities, and this sewage ultimately finds its way into water bodies, leading to their pollution and increase in waterborne disease. Therefore, it is quite mandatory, it is quite essential to treat the sewage before it is thrown into the water bodies so as to make it less polluting. Sewage treatment is being carried out in sewage treatment plants in following three steps. The first step is known as primary treatment of sewage. This step involves physical removal of large and small particles from sewage through filtration and sedimentation. First of all, filtration. The floating debris that is present in sewage, it is removed by sequential filtration by passing through wire mesh screens. Here you can see this is the wire mesh screen. You are allowing the sewage, you are allowing the wastewater to move through this screen, wire mesh screen. The floating debris that is present in sewage water, it gets collected here. Okay. And after this, the grit, which is composed of soil and small pebbles, it is removed by sedimentation in a settling tank. The water that moves through this wire mesh, it is allowed to move into this tank, and in this tank, the grit composed of soil and small pebbles, it gets collected here. Then this water, it is allowed to move into another settling tank here. In this settling tank, the solids, they start sedimenting here and form the sludge, which is known as primary sludge. This primary sludge, it can be subjected to composting. You can compost this sludge, okay, primary sludge, or it can be used for landfill purposes, or in some cases you can allow the microorganisms and anaerobic microorganisms to grow in this primary sludge and produce biogas and manure. Okay, the supernatant that you get here in this primary treatment, it forms the primary effluent. Okay, and this primary effluent is then taken for secondary treatment. Now, what is secondary treatment? Secondary treatment is also known as biological treatment of sewage, because this treatment is primarily done with the help of microbes. Okay, here in the secondary treatment, the primary effluent is passed into large aeration tanks with constant mechanical agitation and air supply. This agitation allows a large amount of air to go into the tank, which allows vigorous growth of useful microbes, and these microbes form the flocs. Flocs are actually the masses of bacteria which are associated with fungal filaments, and they can be seen in the form of mesh-like structures on the surface of water. Okay, and due to the formation of these flocs, the microbes which are present in huge number, the microbes which are present in huge number in the form of flocs, they consume a major part of organic matter in the primary effluent, and this reduces the BOD as well. Okay, जब organic matter content कम हो जाता है, this also reduces the BOD of the water. What is BOD? BOD simply means how much oxygen is needed to oxidize the organic matter content of water. Since the organic matter content has got reduced due to microbes, so has the BOD. Okay, and this decrease in BOD, it is a sign that the water is not now containing that much organic matter pollutant. Okay, and when BOD of sewage gets reduced, it is passed into settling tank, and in the settling tank, the bacterial flocs, they settle down in the tank and form the activated sludge. Okay, a small amount of this activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank to serve as inoculum, and the remaining major part of the sludge is pumped into large aeration tanks called anaerobic sludge digesters. जो आपके पास activated sludge होता है excuse me, a small amount of activated sludge is pumped back into the aeration tank, and a large amount of this activated sludge, it is pumped into anaerobic sludge digesters, and inside anaerobic sludge digesters, other kinds of bacteria which grow anaerobically, they digest the bacteria and the fungi in the sludge, and during this process, a mixture of gases such as methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide are released, which form the biogas, and this biogas is used as a source of energy. Okay, the effluent that we get from the secondary treatment, okay, it is generally thrown into the water bodies in majority of the cases. Okay, but in some instances the effluent is further treated in tertiary treatment. Okay, that we are going to discuss here. Let's first see how secondary treatment is being performed. Here we have this primary effluent, and this effluent is allowed to move into this large aeration tank where bacteria grow, they form flux and reduce the organic matter content and BOD of this wastewater, and this wastewater is then allowed to move into this settling tank, and inside the settling tank the bacterial flux, they settle down and form the activated sludge. A small amount of this activated sludge is pumped with the help of this pump back into the aeration tank so that the bacteria can be continuously present. They will continuously grow in this aeration tank, and a large fraction of this activated sludge is taken out and put in anaerobic digesters where the biogas is produced with the help of anaerobic microorganisms. Okay, and here the effluent that you get, which is known as secondary effluent, it is generally released directly into the water bodies, but in a few instances the secondary effluent needs to be further treated. Okay, this is done with the help of tertiary treatment. Okay, it is the final treatment. So now we will discuss tertiary treatment. Tertiary treatment is a final treatment to raise the effluent quality before it is discharged into water bodies. In some cases the effluent contains high levels of nutrients, like nitrogen and phosphorus, and in order to prevent eutrophication of water bodies, these nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus, they need to be removed by different methods. Different methods are being employed to remove the nitrogen and the phosphorus from the secondary effluent. Nitrogen is being removed by nitrification and denitrification. The ammonia that is present in wastewater, it is allowed to undergo nitrification, it forms nitrate. Okay, and then the nitrate is allowed to undergo denitrification. Okay, and during denitrification nitrate gets converted back to N2O and N2, and this moves into the air. Okay, and this process of nitrification, it is being carried out with the help of Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Simply, the nitrogenous compounds that are present in the secondary effluent, they need to be removed. Okay, and this is done with the help of Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Okay, and the phosphorus which is present in the secondary effluent, it is also removed by the help of phosphate accumulating bacteria. These phosphate accumulating bacteria, they accumulate phosphate in their cells. Okay, now when both the nitrogen and the phosphorus are being removed from the secondary effluent, the effluent is finally disinfected for later use of drinking, bathing, irrigation, etc. Okay, जब आपने nitrogen भी निकाला and you have also removed the phosphorus from the secondary effluent, now this effluent, secondary effluent, is finally disinfected so that it can be used for drinking, bathing, irrigation, etc. And the disinfection is commonly done with the help of ozone. Okay, it is an oxidizing agent, chlorine, UV light, and sodium hypochlorite. So when the secondary effluent has been finally disinfected, this secondary effluent then is discharged into the water bodies. Okay, and you can use this water for drinking, bathing, or irrigation, whatever you like. Okay, this is all about sewage treatment. I hope you all understand.